You are teleported back to 2001 Terminator-style, butt-ass naked, and end up in the middle of Times Square. What do you do or say to convince people you're not a stoned homeless person? I'd emulate old Biff and try to predict something that I knew would be coming up. They'd at least figure that I was either a time traveler or a psychic. Edit, or insane, true. And you're in Guantanamo. Well, if we're talking post 9/11, then that would be the default ending. You guys are all right. Don't go to work on Sept 11th. Didn't people warn about 9/11 but no one listened? Maybe they were time travelers. I'd like to hear more. As an FBI agent who specialized in counterterrorism, John P. O'Neill investigated the bombing of the American embassies in Africa, the USS Cole in Yemen, the Khobar Towers in Saudi Arabia, and the first attack on the World Trade Center. O'Neill came to believe America should kill Osama bin Laden before al-Qaeda launched a devastating attack, but his was often a lonely voice. A controversial figure inside the button-down world of the FBI, he was forced out of the job he loved and entered the private sector, as Director of Security for the World Trade Center. That's some smooth jazz on that documentary opening. Oddly clashing tone. And then they turned his story into a Hulu mini-series starring Jeff Daniels. I'd probably just cry. Then look in the mirror and cry some more? So an average Thursday then. What's the date? I feel the city might be a little preoccupied. Either preoccupied with being cool and free and doing finger guns and enjoying life, or, well, you know. What? A naked guy? Sorry, I didn't notice. I was too busy looking forward to boarding my flight later today without being groped by strangers and having to take my shoes off. It's not illegal. It's frowned upon, like masturbating on an airplane. I'm pretty sure that's illegal, too. Yeah, maybe after 9/11. Thanks a lot, Bin Laden. Thanks a lot, Bin Laden is one of the funniest lines in that movie, maybe any movie of that era. I quoted that line endlessly when The Hangover first came out. Is definitely the best in the movie? Web link. You guys probably get this question a lot, but with how abysmal the sequels were, people often forget how gut-splittingly hilarious the original Hangover was. I think by the car ride to Vegas I was in pain from laughing so hard. That era, it came out 12 years ago, oof. I still remember having to sit in the principal's office while he called my parents because I made finger guns in school in grade 7, late 2001, or early 2002. My parents were so mad at the school for making a big deal out of something every single kid has done since guns were invented. Should have put on orange nail polish to show they weren't real finger guns. Original poster replies. Let's say it's March sometime. Pre-9/11. I'd scream loudly for all to hear that in 6 months the World Trade Centers are going to be crashed into by airplanes, in the worst terrorist attack in US history. I'd run down the street naked screaming that. Then I'd just go find clothes and live my life like normal, with a hefty portfolio of Bitcoin and Amazon stock. And although nothing would stop 9/11 from happening, you just know the few dozen people who I came into contact with would remember the naked crazy guy who predicted 9/11, and they would never forget it. Edit. I don't want to try and stop 9/11, guys. If I convince too many people, then I'm going to get thrown in a cage underground forever. I just want to F with some New Yorkers before earning enough money to buy an NFL team. Meet the multimillionaire who bought Amazon at $10. Wall Street legend user House923 has once run naked predicting the terrorist attacks of 9/11. Reddit link. I also bet this mad lad would go to Stephen Hawking's private time traveler party in 2009. Honestly, I forgot the address and time so I wouldn't even show up. I'd just email him and be like, when's the time traveler party again? Thus, giving him the idea. Genius. Honestly, that would be one of the top things on my list if I could time travel. I wasn't invited, so I don't know where to go. Everyone's invited, as long as you can get there. It was open invitation and you'd only know where it was because it was a private party until the day after. TBH, if he put all of his money into Bitcoin right when it was released, he could even be a billionaire. Don't overbuy, though. If one person bought and held too many Bitcoin, it would never have achieved its present value. That's why you don't start out by buying. You get in on the ground floor with Satoshi Nakamoto and you mine yourself like 15 or 20 when they're easy to crank out. Then, instead of any kind of wallet, you put them in a text file, burn it to a CD, and put it on the shelf until the day before the crash back in, like 2017. Cash out that day, wait for the crash to happen, and buy back in with a portion of your profits. That way you keep your investment in a super volatile commodity while also getting enough hard currency to set yourself up with a nice life and an index fund in case you changed history by accident. Yep. Looks like you've worked out the hard part. Now all we need to do is figure out the time travel. CDs can go bad/rot and I feel like I'm begging to lose it physically anyhow. Man, get the wallet phrases tattooed on your effing thigh if you must. Tattoos can fade or a wild pack of dogs can gnaw off your leg. It really depends. Twist: preventing 9/11 means that Amazon and Bitcoin never make it big. I'm okay with this. I'd actually be able to find a graphics card to buy at MSRP. September 9th. You have 2 days to prevent 9/11 naked. That gives me an idea for the next Die Hard movie. Did they just see me come out of a ball of electricity? I'll need no explanation. This is what I thought too. Apparently, you wouldn't have thought it in 2001 though. Why not? I feel like most people from teens on up had seen a Terminator movie by 2001. I think the better question would be, how do you prevent yourself from being instantly detained by the government? Also, is this before or after 9/11? Plot twist: it's during 9/11, which makes you look even more suspicious. Oh, and it's on a bus that is rigged with explosives that can not slow down. Call it the bus that couldn't slow down. And maybe it can start a beloved teen icon. Like Tom Hanks. Just find a small container, start thanking people for their attention, and ask for contributions. They'll promptly ignore you and maybe you'll get a few bucks from some tourists. Ask the people if they have time to discuss saving the environment and the planet. Then you will be functionally invisible. Bingo. No matter how I arrive, as long as I play it off as street tricks, I'm easily off the hook. I'd start crafting myself. No one would ignore that. Especially once the flinging starts. Oh, the flinging. So much poo. Name checks out. Nothing. It's New York. Just start walking casually and walk as if you know exactly where you are going and have something to do. The majority of people are not going to want to interact with you anyway. When the police come up, walk right up to them and ask for some clothes and some help. Explain it away as a sex thing that went badly, i.e., was with a prostitute in a van, they took off with your clothes. Caveat: if it happens to be on or just after a particular day in September, you're probably not going to be the most interesting thing to happen that day. End communication. Yes. I was in Times Square a few years ago and I am pretty sure I actually did see a naked or nearly naked man walking down the street. Also, saw someone dressed like a horse in Central Park. You know how many people said anything to either person? No one. Not a soul said a word. I've never been there, but Times Square seems like this. YouTube link. Seriously. And then go buy as much Bitcoin as you can. Bitcoin release, 2009. You might need to wait a bit. That gives you 8 years to build some capital with stock investment/sports bets. When I daydream about this hypothetical scenario, I always think, if I get transported back in time, how would I build the capital quickly to take advantage of knowing which investments will be sure bets? Sports betting seems like a great way to make a quick buck. For example, while I probably only had a couple $1,000 to my name, plus whatever I could earn and set aside working in 2001, I know the New England Patriots were 60-1 to win the Super Bowl that year, so I could get to 6 figures that year. Then from there bet the Bucks for the following year at 12-1. There are better parlay bets I could make, but we're talking about a situation where I could only use my memory and couldn't reference scoreboards from the past. But here's my thing, while I don't think anything I could do in 2001 could affect Apple, Google, etc. from becoming sure bets, sports games often come down to millimeters or very precise actions from players. Could butterfly effect set off a chain of events that would easily mess with a fingertip catch or close field goal to change history? Even without any knowledge, just get a job and then spend like €100 on bitcoins when they were still under a cent and you'll be set for life. 20 years of normal life and then you don't have to worry about anything else, neither do your friends and family. Yes. When bitcoins were worthless, a topic on them came up in a forum I used to frequent. At the time, I had $50 refund I got that I was tempted to buy these bitcoins with. I almost did, but as I barely understood what they were or how they worked, I didn't. As I thought, I'd have these worthless ones and zeros, and somebody else would have my $50. Well, jump cut to a few years later and I did the math when the coins hit 1K. Man, what a stupid decision I made that day. It seems stupid in retrospect, but from a financial perspective you probably made the right call. How many other similar things are there that people have thrown their savings into, on the off chance that it might go somewhere, only for it to all be for naught? That said, feels bad, man, knowing what could have been. I would start with your clothes, give them to me now. I would have gone with wash day, nothing clean. I had to steal something from Arnie. I think you're a couple cans short of a six-pack. Nice night for a walk, eh? I need your cloths, your boots, and your motorcycle. You forgot to say please. Stubs out cigar on your chest, full scene here, web link. Effing classic. Just start with I'm from the future. That way you get a straitjacket problem solved. 2001 Times Square. I doubt anyone would care or notice. Depends on if this happens before or after September 11, 2001. Tell everybody the terrorists' attacks are about to happen and also be sure to say come with me if you want to live. They said you don't want people to think you're crazy. That's why you look them in the eye, say it calmly, and repeat the date a couple of times. Excuse me, Sierra/Mom. On September 11th of this year, men are going to hijack aircraft and fly them into the World Trade Center, causing both towers to collapse. Please stay out of the city on September 11th. Assuming these little conversations happen in March, everyone you talk to will be seriously effed up a few months later when it happens and they remember the warning. Giuliani would throw your ass in a jail cell by April. And America would have loved it too. But if the word got around, maybe it would butterfly effect and never actually happen, so people still think you're just a crazy homeless guy. Lol. If all I had to do to prevent 9/11 was let some strangers think I'm crazy, then I'd do it in a heartbeat. Yeah. Then I might be able to sneak my bottle of water into the plane. No TSA. No one will believe you. The attacks happen anyway, and when Homeland Security find out you knew about them back in March, they'll ship you off to Gitmo faster than you can say extrajudicial. I've been to Times Square multiple times. A naked man suddenly appearing isn't going to turn that many heads. Like with the blue ball that appears, then pretty sure they would believe me, right? Edit. With blue ball I do not refer to blue testicles, I mean the sphere from which the Terminator comes out because of the time machine. Please people understand that. Everyone is focused on the clothing part, and not how dramatic the Terminator entrance is. Original poster replies. Imagine your blue plasma ball takes some kid's leg off. Now you're a confused magical naked stoned homeless guy with an arrest warrant. Just like 1/3 of the people in Times Square. We're naked perverts and we're killing New Yorkers in this scenario? I guess I'm running for and winning governor. Just say I got mugged. Edit. Wow, did not expect this to blow up. Thank you kind strangers for the awards. Help. That stoned homeless person took my clothes. He took my clothes, my boots, and my motorcycle. Right? This is the only answer. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.